What's going on, everybody? It's Anthony from hashtag Be the Change. Truth will set you free and Blood Force discussion going live on multiple pages today. It's a little bit of an early one. If you don't catch it live, please do me a huge favor. Share it, watch it later. This is obviously a topic. I'm doing J6 on this one because there is more footage being released. I don't know if it's just going to Tucker Carlson. I don't know if it's just going to small publications, but Gateway Pundit found some stuff on Twitter that is showing something that, as a lot of you guys know, I'm so incredibly frustrated with this day. I'll let a couple more people jump on as I do a intro to this. But I recently had a great conversation. As much as I complained about the fact that I hated being called a bigot about something completely unrelated to January 6th, but the conversation, of course, spun into January 6th because that's literally the 2 points that people go against today's version of a conservative, which is you're not okay with gay rights, which is not factually correct. There's just to many of us, to most of us, a line in the sand that we draw where we cannot support drag shows for children. Like and I've said this a million times. I've been to a drag show. I'm an adult. I think drag shows are funny when they're talented performers, but for the most part, that's not what we're getting anymore. And we're getting these overweight men twerking and being lewd and vulgar around children. Anyways, it led to me being called a bigot. And then the conversation goes, well, can we have a talk about January 6th? January 6th, to me, as I continue to see this, the fact that there are so many hours of footage that have just been completely suppressed, completely ignored. And feel free to make comments in the comment box. I'll watch as we go on this one. Again, this is going to be about a 20 minute. How is it? People say it's been a minute. I'm on all the time. It's crazy that it just people don't get to see it. Anyways, so moving a little bit forward on this one, the conversation spun to, well, can we at least condemn the Proud Boys? And I go, I mean, okay, I'll bite. What do you mean? She's like, you know that they are bigots. They're bad people. They're racist. And I go, do you know who the leader? I go, first off, I know some Proud Boys. I do think there are some really crappy human beings that are in the Proud Boys, just like anything else. But I said, I also know some really good Proud Boys as well. I said, do you know anybody? No. I said, do you know who's who's the leader of the Proud Boy? And she goes, no, it's multiple people. No, it was one leader who was from a racist organization. I kept saying Puerto Rican. He was Cuban. He was a black Cuban American that was the leader of the Proud Boys. It's very hard for an organization to be deemed fully racist when that is the leader. And I'm just terrified of what we are going to see. I see all the comments coming in. Thanks, guys. And happy birthday to Nikki. Everybody give Nikki a happy birthday in the comments. Give her a shout. Um, it's terrifying to me to think about the way history is written, which is why revisionist history is out there, which is why even CRT is making this massive push in the collegiate age group, and then of course in middle school and like little doses. Is we talk about the fact that the left talks about the fact that us conservatives, modern day conservatives, don't want Black history taught, which is factually incorrect. We've had Black history taught forever. We want to teach about slavery. We want to teach, but we don't want to teach about modern day oppression because modern day oppression is bullshit. I'm sorry. Yes, there is such things as being pulled over while Black, and that is unfortunate. But in today's day and age, when you look at the actual crime statistics, that is the issue. I'm going to warn people watching this as I go in. There's a lot of swearing by police officers in the videos I'm about to share that are on Twitter. There's a lot of F-bombs. I'm going to just warn you now. I'm going to avoid saying them today, but I'm going to show you these clips, which is of a day that the history is going to be written one way, that it is the worst day that has ever happened to our democracy and all these horrific things. It's being compared to all the lives lost on September 11th and being compared to Pearl Harbor by our administration. It is absolute insanity that this is in the same ballpark. So continue. Let's see. McCarthy release is 41,000. I used to think it was 14, but yeah, he said 41,000 to Tucker. Yeah, we thought it was 14. I mean, and I know based on discussions with Cash, who, by the way, if anybody's watching that cares, which I think most of you guys do, he finally got transferred to Pennsylvania. He is in his final spot. As we get more details there, we'll let you know. This should be the last place that he stops before he goes home to be part of like a halfway house or house arrest, whatever ends up happening. So, and Cash has seen a lot of this footage, which a lot of the inmates have, which is why it's such torture. The fact that all they're playing is the bad stuff. As I've said, what people deem on that day, and people will look at me and go, that was the worst day ever. And I say, were you there? And they say no. They saw 6 minutes of a flip over and over again. And I can tell you, I'm a part of. There's some footage where I know that I'm in this, and it was a bunch of people that were peacefully protesting, not mostly, actually peacefully protesting, that then had munitions thrown at them, bombs, like rubber bullets, all these different things to a crowd that was not unruly. It's and again, you can look at the Black Lives Matter riots of the summer of 2020, and you can see that those. And I'm not speaking for all, because there's some crappy police officers. There's some police officers that just go, oh, this is the day that I finally get to fire my and finally get to, smoke bomb people and all these different things. We're also going to learn, by the way, that the area was cleared. The police officers left the area and cleared the scaffolding because they screwed up with the gas gun, and they cleared themselves off, which is when the actual surge up to the building happened. So if that never happened, I make you a bet, based on how peaceful it looked, Ashley Babbitt would still be alive. There'd still be 2 dead people, because there was 2 dead people based on the flashbangs caused heart attacks. But again, we're not gonna hear about this. We're not gonna hear about this. Nikki, for example, might have been in attendance, much like myself, and there was tear gas, there's bombs. So let's go ahead and start showing some of this footage. Again, I want to keep this under 30 minutes, but let's see. Here it is. So let's start with this things that led to it, and this is all part of a Gateway Pundit article. It was sent to me by one of our followers and a friend of ours, friend of Cash's. This was and I'll show you how many people came up to the foot of the Capitol, and the longest video I have is a 4-minute clip, and it shows a time lapse of that day, and you will see it. You will see the growth of people. You will see the fact that if there is that many people and that few of police officers, they could have taken it over at any time, until the police officers gave up and left because of the fact that they gassed themselves because of incompetence. 4 Trump supporters died that day in the violence. Kevin Greason, Benjamin Phillips died immediately when police started firing around the crowd. They died of a heart attack, I believe, as though somebody we know even tried to help one of those people. And then there was, of course, Ashley Babbitt, and then one other female that was trampled once shit kind of hit the fan. So police brutality, I don't love talking about it, because I like to talk about the fact that most of the time police officers are good people, but whatever happened this day was a failure of them. And in terms of the mostly peaceful riots, quote unquote, of the year 2020, I'd like to see some footage of a crowd that was not already doing damage, that then got bombed essentially by police officers, got smoke bombs and all these munitions thrown at them. If that's the case, I forgive those people. But I have very few footage that shows that. Usually it was police trying to stop it once it had already got started. All right, let's go ahead and get started with this first one, and just listen to some of the police officers. This is one of the longer ones. I was on the opposite side of the schedule. So this is all. Notice the crowd's waving flags, and a munition just exploded. I had one of these come. This is actually right where I was standing, very, very close. I almost feel like I might be near this. Not a fan of a guy with his middle finger up. Just indiscriminately bombing a crowd that was not unruly. I was there. And I like to say this to people. I'm like, this was a crowd chanting USA, USA. And that guy with the middle finger, by the way, that wasn't up until they started firing at the crowd. This was a crowd chanting USA. This was a crowd chanting Trump, all these different things. This was, and I can speak for this. Why? Because I was there. I was near the front of the crowd. I can't stress enough. And yes, you can report me. Don't worry. I've already been interviewed by the FBI. Okay. And I did nothing wrong. I never broke through a barricade. I never went where I was told I couldn't go. I saw police officers next to me allowing people to stand in different places. But this is what happened that day. This is how the crowd turned. How stupid can it be from a leadership perspective to start throwing munitions and essential bombs and pellets into an actual peaceful crowd? And you'll see the overhead near the end of this video. We'll go through this, where the crowd is literally growing and growing and growing and growing, and even getting at points like pushed back by angles by police officers. Even the cops are like, what's going on? They're even spraying indiscriminately into a crowd in the front. Like, what are they expecting? Look at how much gap. Like, this is such common sense. Look at the size of the gap between where the crowd is and where the police is. Why would you be spraying when there is no reason to spray at that point? You're riling up. Yeah, Bobby Badass. Those are rubber bullets. If anybody hasn't seen this guy, this is what a munition did. So I mean, I thought these were just like flashbangs. And they were, but I didn't know what kind of damage a flashbang could do. So this guy got hit with a flashbang. Let me see if we can show his face again. It blew his cheek out. I honestly was about 10 feet from one of the flashbangs that went off. I just thought I didn't think about the fact that clearly I'm an idiot, but like, this is the damage that they could do. And they're just throwing these indiscriminately into crowds of innocent people, which the police even talk about later on. Like, does this seem like a good idea to anyone when you are outnumbered almost 10,000 to 1?
Come here.
This is showing a guy that probably should not be climbing on the steps, but watch what happens to this guy. Again, at this point, they'd already lost position. They'd already lost position of the place. Gets pushed off about 30 feet. Pushed by a police officer. Not grabbed and dragged up, which is what the procedure should be. Watch all the grenades going off into a completely peaceful crowd. What do you expect to happen?
If they'd never thrown the concussion grenades, if they'd never used the pepper spray, this wouldn't have happened. It was a peaceful protest.
I was wrong. I thought that guy was causing problems, but he's not.
That guy did pass away. That's one of the guys that got it.
I think that man probably died. I hope they saved his life.
All right, that was one video. We got more to go. Real quick, I'll look at questions as we go. Let's see what's going on, Michael. I want to review my footage again from that day. So this is not correct. She got suffocated. Debbie, I know that might be the word that's out there. So one of the guys that was in jail with Cash, who ended up, he's gonna have a lengthy punishment. He's got actually a decent amount of money, but it doesn't matter. He beat a cop that day. The thing is, there's footage leading up to it where the cop is beating the woman that died that you say that they might have reported that was OD'd. She was trampled. She was beaten by a cop, knocked unconscious, and then was trampled by too many people, and they could not get her out of there. So the guy that right now is probably looking at 7 to 10 years for pushing back and fighting a police officer was the one trying to protect this woman. And there is footage of that none of us have ever seen and may never see. I mean, maybe Tucker will find it. Yeah, sit down and listen. And honestly, you can have an opinion. We could talk. And I learned some things from the video I saw the day. I didn't realize what was happening at different parts of the building. I understand that it wasn't perfect, but it was all started by this. And it was also started by people like Ray Epps and started by people that we don't know their names. In the room with Ashley Babbitt, a lot of those people, based on the people that I know, Taylor Hanson being one of them, knowing who ended up in jail, none of them, like over half the room, not none, over half that room never got arrested. So you're inside the Capitol, you're inciting violence, you are the ones that are actually breaking the glass on the inside, and somehow there's people that took photos with statues, aka Cash, that have been in the gulag for however long. Make that make sense, and tell me that something wasn't wrong and off about that day. All right, let's get to the next video. These are all a lot shorter. There's one long one at the end.
Munitions.
This is, again, a crazy police officer that says, we need more munitions.
We need more fucking munitions.
Why? In what world is this a good idea?
Hey, we need blast munitions. What do we got? I don't have any. God damn, we got to get something, man. Come on, we got to get the fuck out here. Hey.
Go to the next video.
You guys good? Hey, good shit, Sarge. Good shit. Hold tight. Hold fucking tight. We're getting munitions. Hey, we're coming with more. Coming with more. Hold tight. Hey, we have 8 blast munitions that we can do. Let's go. We gotta get them. You guys.
So do you, first off, this is that police officer that everybody makes fun of, that the left is like, the left thinks that this is every police officer. This Billy Badass is like, we need more effing munitions. We gotta do this. We gotta F them up. Like, this is a guy that's been playing Call of Duty his whole life, that just got a badge and now is deciding to be the biggest badass on the planet and think that he needs it. But I want a really quick look at this. I want to play this one time through. Just because there's a gigantic crowd chanting USA and being... Do you see anything happening at the fence line? You're literally taking a bunch of bulls and rallying them from the back and forcing them forward when you get munitions. But does this look like anybody is threatening these police officers?
Good. Hey, good shit, Sarge. Good shit. Hold tight. Hold fucking tight. We're getting munitions. Hey, we're coming with more. Coming with more. Hold tight.
Yelling at them because they're saying, anybody look that they're in danger in the front? Does anybody look like they're in danger in the front?
You guys good?
No, look at the gap of space. All that you are doing by adding munitions at this point is making, and as somebody there, I can tell you the crowd shifted. I still never saw the major push until all of a sudden everybody just went up, and we find out why in a couple videos. So this is at 117. This Tao guy orders Capitol police officers, snipers nest to continue firing indiscriminately in the crowd. All right.
God damn it, we need them. Let's go, fucking shoot it. Go, shoot the fucking thing. Where's he at? God damn it, we need them. Let's go, fucking shoot it. Go.
What part of training makes this make any sense? Adderall? Okay, she might have had, I think she did have Adderall in her system. I don't think you can, I mean, you can OD from it when you're being suffocated by a crowd. Brenda, we might be talking about the same guy. So anyways, you're in what training? And if this is part of training, and I don't know, this is something that probably should be addressed, because this is common sense. When you've got 200, 300 police officers and 100,000 protesters that were not trying to break through the front line, to be clear. As you can see it, this isn't me making something up. You can see that there is a gap between the people in the front and the line. You don't need to hold. I mean, you're there. You're using a presence. That's called a protest. You're blocking it. There is no need. Now, if you watch some of the videos from that day, did not know that this was supposed to be blocked off a long, far away from this. And again, I was past this point not knowing that there was a small gate. There was literally a bike rack that I've seen in videos later, that about 100 of the group of Proud Boys and some of them that did have nefarious intentions walked through. They moved the barricade. There was one police officer in a barricade, knowing that there was 500,000 people at the whatever it's called, the circle. So that was the security that they decided would just stop people. So again, I didn't know about that. But when we get to this point, this is where people could common sense go, this is probably where we should no longer go anymore. So, you know what's interesting, Nikki? I'm gonna there's that video of the police officer waving people. I might maybe try to pull it. That I will. This is me being honest. I was wrong about that video. Very wrong about that video, actually, because there's another angle that was released that I never saw that showed he was waving police officers for help. That was a very interesting angle, and it was clickbait for a lot of us. So that police officer that opened the barricade and was waving, he was actually waving police officers. I just recently, a couple days ago, corrected myself and saw a different footage. By the way, I forgot to tell you guys, I should probably put this on the bottom because I dig some of the new shirts we have. And then we'll go to the next video. But I'm going to show this real quick. Oh, yeah. This is my favorite design that Casey has made. They both suck. I think this is a clever one. Go to awakenetwokestore.com. That's my one little plug on that one. All right, let's go back to this exit solo layout. All right, I'll put that on the bottom. Bum, bum, bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Where is it? Well, I usually put this one up there, but Awake Not Woke store. Use Awake for 15% off. If you like that t-shirt, we also have the V Injured Lives Matter shirt, Unvied Lives Matter shirt. Not a single one of us regrets not taking it. Okay, back to the video. All right. And as always, I'm going to go ahead and leave this one on the bottom. Please join the Great American Syndicate, $4.99 a month. We also have the big event in Dallas. Tickets are only $99 right now for a 2-day event. If you are anywhere near the Texas area or want to come, please buy those tickets. Okay, so I'm going to play this one more time.
Shoot! The fuck is that? Where's he at? God damn it.
Next one.
Give me your fucking taser.
Now this is a taser shot. Having the police officer's taser, aim pretty badass. Go up. And he's grabbing the taser. And deploys it randomly on some. Look at the gap between where people are standing. Look how far away people are standing. And look at this seemingly be a good idea to rally a crowd that's already not having an issue with you. This crowd was excited to be there, me included. This crowd, this is so different than what was portrayed of the riots for Black Lives Matter, when they were jumping on top of police cars, storming buildings, to which they still did less to the people in the front. Still. So this guy randomly just decides to face him.
Yes. Hey, I got another taser deployed.
Like he's celebrating that he
Give me your fucking taser. Get it together. Get that.
randomly chasing him. Looked like he had his back to him.
Hold the line.
And these people aren't even fighting back. They're literally saying, "What the F is wrong with you?" Like, who would do this? Like, this is such incompetency from a police force, which is, again, the images that you and I did not see that day. I was 10 rows back and I didn't even see what was going on at the front. For me, it was peaceful, except for the fact that there was gigantic munitions blowing up in my face. So then this is now at 1:25 p.m. So 1:25 until 2:25, Capitol and DC police continue inside the crowd. Protester Kevin Gleason drops dead at 1:28. And one witnesses, and I can vouch for this because I know somebody that was next to this. It's either this person or the other person. The grenade went off and they had a heart attack on January 26th. So this is when the guy was pushing the ledge. We already saw that clip. We don't need to show that again. At 2:03, DC police first used their LRAD system, their long-range acoustic device, which is a violation of established protocol. According to this, DC law requires police to give 3 separate warnings with LRAD and an opportunity to disperse before using violence or munitions to clear a protest crowd. So this is that gigantic siren right there that they used. Let's see, text images included here from the testimony on the clearing of the Pershing Park BLM protests outside of the White House in 2020. The attempted clearing of that was evidently illegal according to that case. So apparently it did happen before with BLM. Let's see. Let's see where we got here. Okay, that's the whole testimony. All right, let's go back. All right. So you go to, if you want to follow something on Twitter, follow this Investigate J6 and you can see all of this. So this now at 2:18, the sergeant is admitting that this is not working out very well and they're creating more issues.
We're gonna have to get a
What do we got that we can help and push them? Munitions wise.
Nothing's gonna help.
The wind is at us. I know.
We're fucked.
Right. The wind's at us. So that we get hit with a lot of pain applied when you hit the innocent people.
And not only that, we're taking out one and 10 of them are getting angrier. We're multiplying them by hitting them.
No kidding. You don't say. So they're finally realizing that they're making all these, they're firing indiscriminately to innocent people, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. They're firing indiscriminately to innocent people, and they are rallying. They're making the crowd even more angry. And for every one, they're creating 10 angry people. At 2:19, DC commander says, "Do not lose the steps of this Capitol." And this is what causes them. This is something I did not know of, why all of a sudden, because I remember all of a sudden everybody went up and we didn't know why. We didn't know why everybody started to go up. And this is why. There you go.
We got to decide if we're going to give this up and take that thing around.
You can't lose the steps of the Capitol. No.
I know, Commander. I know.
It's not going to happen.
Rich has a 40. Rich, over here. 40. Put it out.
Right over there. Wherever the hell wrong here.
Right over there. Put it out. Hey, Rich. Yeah. Put it up in the fucking scaffolding.
Hey, I'll make sure I know.
Yes.
You're going to do it back.
Everything. Look, fire it up in the air, Rich. Over there.
Here's
I got it. Go. Just fucking shoot.
didn't shoot. It shot 100 feet in front of him, which is ass. This is where everybody will tell you from the left and from the mainstream media that the Capitol was stormed at this point because they finally got the upper hand. As you notice, people were still not fighting in the front. They were still staying back, staying their distance. But the dumbass officer, this is something that I did not know. As somebody there, the dumbass officer decided to fire into the crowd at the guy going, just fire it, rushing him. The same douchebag, we're hearing the same voice. It sounds like the same time, and ends up gassing the whole entire DC police line, which causes them to retreat because they don't have gas masks.
What?
Look at how many police cleared the area. This is because of something they did to themselves. They're like, screw this. I'm out. I'm done.
Come on, let's go up. Come on. Get up.
Why have none of us seen this footage? Why have none of us seen this footage? Because the narrative they want you to believe is that a bunch of Trumpers stormed the Capitol that night. Instead, we were all protesting, and the game changed the moment they gassed themselves because of rushing and complete and utter incompetence. This is them finally saying,
MPD, come here.
almost the last video.
Hey, come here, guys, real quick. I'm gonna be as fucking real as I fucking can be. We are going to get overrun on the steps of the Capitol right now. We're getting fucking hammered, okay? If you guys go down there, the paint compliance is working very minimally. There's 10,000 to 1. We're gonna lose the fucking steps, and we're getting people hurt like a motherfucker. Do not go down there.
It was 10,000 to 1, and it was fine until you started to blow shit up into the crowd and until you gassed yourselves and completely retreated after pissing off a crowd. You've literally made everybody really, really angry. You made a bunch of bulls in a china shop that still were not charging you, and then you gassed yourselves and had to retreat from your own line that you made even stiffer because of your pain compliance.
Because you're gonna get fucked up.
He's pulling him after the top.
Do not fucking go down there.
Can we help from here?
You cannot. No, there's nothing we're doing. We're holding. Dude, literally, we've been fighting them for 2.5 hours and we've lost ground. We have fucking we've got so many injuries. Dude, it's fucking shit show. Jimmy, I'm getting. Hey, do not go down the fucking stairs. MPD.
All right, so this is going to be the timeline. I don't think there's any audio on this one. If there is, yeah, there's no audio. Okay, so just watch the timeline and how many people fill up. And again, I probably got here right around here. This is about the time that I got there. So this is what is this? About a 4-minute video, 5-minute video. So I'll just narrate. This is where we're going to end. I'm going to show how busy it gets and how crazy the crowd is in terms of size, but still being able to listen. Like, I'm going to put the arrow around here, still listening to them backing people up. And then watch how much this grows. The scaffolding, again, they climbed the scaffolding. They didn't have any police protecting it. I mean, I've done spring break. People do stupid shit like that all the time. But fact is, You'll start seeing, now you start seeing the smoke. That's when they start to deploy the smoke bombs, the munitions at around 1:15 or 1:20 is when that happened. And watch the crowd glow. Look at all of the American flags. You've got the "Don't Tread on Me" yellow flags. You've got some FJBs in there, but still, somehow the police are managing to find a way with their limited numbers to push back a crowd of people that is hundreds of thousands. You see that down here. Remember, this was completely full. I'm going to go back to this real quick. This was completely full at the bottom, and they managed to still have control over this crowd. They still managed to have control over this crowd. And now you can see that the grass is completely full. You now have munitions going off. It's about 2 o'clock. You're going to see when everything shifts, when Deputy Dumbass takes the gas and gasses the police officers. Or after 2 o'clock, Trump flags, American flags, "Don't Tread on Me" flags. And here we are at about 2:10. You know, this is probably where the taser was deployed. You're seeing this kind of fighting area over here. Again, they are still in control of this area. We keep wondering how it was stormed, how everything went so crazy and how all this happened. Even in their minimal numbers, because this was not an unruly crowd, they still had control until they retreated after pissing everybody off. And now we know why they retreated. Here is that. Where's the smoke? It should be coming up shortly. There you go. So this is when he smoked his own people. You'll see it come up right here and smoke right now, clearing out all the officers. This is not storming. The police officers have their back to people. They're coughing. There's whatever. They let people up because they gassed themselves. Things that we never saw, things that we never heard. And as somebody that was 10 rows back in this group of people, I didn't even know that is what happened. All of a sudden, people started walking forward. And I didn't walk forward with this group. I had already started to move off to the side. I went around. This is only one side of the Capitol. I went to a side where everything was wide open. Like this is damning footage for the January 6th bullshit commission that is not talking about the full story. And we're still painting this as such a divisive day and horrific day in American history. Look at this. If this was such an unruly crowd, there'd be fires, there'd be fights, there'd be all these things. And I still stand by the fact that this is one of the coolest experiences. Call me a terrorist, call me whatever you want. One of the coolest experiences of my entire life. Being a part of something like this. Unfortunately, there was some bad apples that made this a not so positive day. But granted, I think we can all agree by watching this that we don't know what would have happened if the police would have handled things that day, if their direction would have been better, if there wasn't Billy Badasses dropping bombs into the crowd, killing people. And still, I will stress on Ashley Babbitt, all the people going, well, she deserved what she got. An unarmed woman yelling at a police officer inside, telling them to get your shit together and protect this building. That's what she was saying when she was shot by an officer that didn't warn about the gun. You heard somebody else go, he's got a gun, about 7 seconds before he shot her through the neck. Not prosecuted. Literally got let off on his charges. So this is the end of that day, and this is where things start to disperse. And I will still stand by the fact that I walked by where that guillotine was, where they said hang Mike Pence, and tell you that was a photo op, because I never saw it. And I was there for a good portion of the day, especially, we passed by right around when that was. That was set up by somebody, probably not a Trumper, to be totally honest. And it was set up. There was video taken of somebody going hang Pence and taken down. If that doesn't sound like a fake photo op to you, I don't know what does. Does this look like a BLM crowd? Does this look like a riot? They're still holding flags. They're still, I mean, it's such insanity of the misinformation from this day. Every bit of it has been fake. Again, you play the wrong clip over and over again, it's going to look like something that it wasn't. And then, of course, you talk about people dying. They still have misinformed people about the fact that police officer died of a stroke because of his head injuries. No, he died literally unrelated of the injuries. People still think police officers died that day. It's lies. It's complete and utter lies. And I encourage you guys to share this video and get this out there. It looks like we had, even though we're on StreamYard, we had 6 people watching, which is great. A lot of times we don't get that much on StreamYard, but this is an important video. This January 6th group did a fantastic job. Investigate J6. Just going through this. So yeah, guys, please share this video. Sorry, I just took this down. I'll put it back up. But there was also this. They talk about this is the Investigate J6 clip. First bloodshed was this guy's cheek that we've seen in different areas. So that's it, guys. Please do me a favor. Share this video, like this video, do all the things you can. I know there's a lot of comments. I was watching live. I was live streaming that day. What about the fellow shoved off that balcony? He could have died. Honestly, I can't believe. Like, I get what he was doing was wrong, but can you imagine them shoving a BLM protester off of the scaffolding like that? Just whoop, see you later. This frustrates me more than anything we have seen. I mean, we can get mad about election stuff. We can get mad about so many different things. But the misinterpretation of this day, and I'll be honest, the vaccine, this and the vaccine are the two things that have divided the American people based on complete and utter misinformation by the mainstream media, by our own government, the January 6th Commission, who has not allowed all of the, and this is just a glimpse. This is just a glimpse of footage. Imagine the tens of thousands of hours, how this could change people's opinion on that day, but they don't want that because they're using this to make sure Trump will never run again. They will making sure that all Republicans they can always control because they can just use this like, well, you're part of the ilk of January 6th. You know what? I'll wear that with a badge of honor. I am part of the ilk of January 6th. I was there representing what it means to be an American, which to me was wanting an investigation into the election, not saying that it was wrong, not saying that it was fraudulent in any way, shape, or form, but literally just saying something is off and I want some time and I want my voice heard as a citizen of this country. And whether or not you can look at the videos coming forward right now talking about Dominion and the fact that they should not have, that they're suing Fox and be it they're not suing Newsmax and all the different things that could have been potentially, you can say, wrong with the 2020 election. The one thing we're still ignoring, no matter how you slice the voting machines and saying that those are perfect and you could say those are great, you still can't talk about the issues with that Mules movie. And you still can't talk about the suppression of information directed by the FBI into the actual social media channels and media to not disclose one of the biggest stories in the history of a presidential election of somebody like Hunter Biden's laptop that they managed to gaslight the whole American people. So there are so many issues that are wrong with 2020. And then, of course, you take the way that everybody that was talking about the V is now realizing they were right all along when they just wanted to question it. It should be a medical choice instead of a forced experiment. So all these things going wrong and the way that they're going to paint history is an issue. With that said, guys, have a great rest of your day. Please do me a huge favor. The Great American Syndicate is free for 15 days, and then it's $4.99. It is what supports what we do here. And then we've got the tickets to the Great American Summit, which I will be emceeing with Marta Krejci. We've got Chad Prather speaking. We're working on some other big names. And if anybody's near the Dallas area or can afford to fly out there and these are $99 tickets right now. And if you use $97 tickets, and if you use GAS at checkout, it's another 10% off. So GAS 23, GAS 23, use that at checkout. Our other help is thedrartershow.com. Use BFD at checkout for 10% off. Those are all the supplements and stuff to help you stay away from the coof and any other health stuff that you got. He's got great products, and we've got a lot of our followers that use that. But go to greatamericansummit.com at the bottom, get your discounted tickets. They are $97 right now. GAS 23, or even Truth Will Set You Free, TWY, Truth Will, TWSYF, any of those codes will get you 10% off. But I would love to see you guys there. Ultimately, you even get a bigger discount if you're just a member of the Great American Syndicate. So that's the one that I encourage you all to join. Where is it? Boom. That's how I'm going to end the video. Right there, guys. GreatAmericanSyndicate.com. You're part of a community, you're part of a group, you'd be part of a Facebook group, all the things as we grow this. And this is one of the things we're excited to have with Cash when we get back. And I've talked to him about it and being a part of this community. So please join, guys. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, and God bless.